things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unserious. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is First Things First. My first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it started. Let's get our day started together. We got a lot to talk about, as always. In the first hour, we talk local. Second hour, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person of interest or on a topic. Today, we will be talking with CD4 Councilwoman Nithya Raman. Looking forward to that convo. I have never actually talked with her on the air before, so that should be quite interesting. And you are welcome to call in for that. You are welcome to call in now, especially now, because it's me, you, and the microphone. And we'll be joined by partner politics Joseph Williams in hour 2 to hone in on, national issues as they're touching the local. Of course, you know him as an organizer with LA Students Deserve, Black Lives Matter, Los Angeles, and more. And so we got a full and good show for you today. And you're part of it, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. If you want to tap in and let us know what's of interest to you. This position, this place that we find ourselves in as the only black talk radio station on the left coast, anywhere west of the Mississippi, means reciprocity and listening is just as important as talking. And we listen live on the air. We also listen on our social media, which is KBLA, like black without the C and the K, KBLA 1580. You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, all of the places, and most especially on YouTube, where we are streaming live right now. Okay? Yeah. If you missed my interview with Madison McFerrin, the extraordinarily talented singer, what did she call it? Pop soul singer, whose album drops tomorrow, you can go to the podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, you could type in whatever show you missed. KBLA 1580, and then type in Madison McFerrin, or type in Don Cheadle, or type in Harry Edwards, and my interviews with those folks, those conversations, those podcasts are there. You could also find them on the KBLA 1580 app, which you hopefully have on your phone. But hey, if you haven't got to it yet, Mercury retrograde is the perfect time to catch up on old stuff. Get the app from the App Store, the Google Play Store, put it on your phone, and you can listen to me live, or Tavis live, or Robin Ayers live, or Reva Martin live, DL, Hughley, just on your phone, simply by pushing the little triangle that looks like the old play buttons on cassette tape players. Yeah, I said it. I had one of those. Anyway, 800-920-1580. That is the phone number. And all of our podcasts are also available on the app, along with a listen live feature thingy. So, I really want to start with something good, because I'm a lot irritated by the governor of the state of California. But we'll get to that. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. I'll put it in the good news category that Kenya Barris, Shaq, and 50 Cent are trying to buy BET, and apparently their bid looks to be the leading bid right now. Tyler Perry was saying he was going to get a piece of the network. Byron Allen was looking at trying to get the network. And then Diddy. Diddy already has Revolt TV. I guess he's trying to be Mr. Mogul. But it seems that this collaboration, this collaborative group with Kenya Barris, Shaq, and 50 Cent appears to be at advantage right now. I think it's really interesting that so many black people of African descent, want to get BET. You hear so many people talking bad about it. It's corny. It doesn't have the kind of program we would like, although it seems like it has come a long way, right? But I think it's interesting, and I think it's important that so many black folks of means are saying, well, let's get this thing back. It was founded back in 1980 by Robert L. Johnson, right? He used to be a lobbyist for cable, which I didn't realize, and wanted to cater to black folks. We have incredible buying power. He recognized that. He wanted to take advantage of it, and he did. It was sold to Viacom for $3 billion. But, it's a destination. Now it's probably one of the most well-known black brands in the world. Actually, BET, I know from my own research that BET is their website, the BET.com or whatever it is that one in the Griot are like the most visited by black folks, which is really interesting. That's where we're turning to. I mean, it is interesting because there's so much range. We could be going to the New York Times, or we could be going to media takeout. Right, there's like this huge range of garbage to, well, there's garbage on the other side. We could be, but the majority of black folks in the main, we trust the BET. We trust as far as websites and the Griot. That's one of the reasons I'm so honored that very quickly KBLA put itself in that most trusted messenger category. I mean, we haven't even been on the air 2 years yet. It was a little over a year when that study by Avitarist showed that we KBLA, being the most trusted, reliable news source for black Angelenos, Southern California black folks. And that's, I think, part of the reason why everyone wants BET is because of the brand. We know it, it's trusted, it's a go-to. It seems like it would be kind of poetic justice in a way. Not the movie, the concept, to be black in black hands, back in our hands. It's not, they said, TMZ says it's not a done deal, but they're very deep in negotiation. And if, when you think about 50 Cent, I mean, he has become quite the media mogul. I didn't realize Shaquille O'Neal is back in the studio making, I didn't know he had, I mean, I've heard his songs, don't get me wrong. I didn't know that was a profitable venture for him. And Kenya Barris, of course, is, he's very prolific. You People, White Man Can Jump, all of his Ish series. Well, that's my good news to start you off for the day. I thought it was good news. More and more black folks striving for black ownership like we have around here. And trust and believe, as a person who's worked for the mainstream media and black media over the course of my career, it does make a difference in terms of the latitude that you have and the perspective that you have in representing your own community. At least that's my experience. Yeah, let's talk about the governor in reparations when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all of the businesses that tune into KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to a lunch for 10, brought to you by the Original Taco Pete's. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to submit your office to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you're just like our staff, putting in many hard, smart working hours per week. We just want to say thank you and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, sponsored by the Original Taco Pete's, a black-owned restaurant. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action.
I know it's gonna happen without you.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
You get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos. Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get a Flex 24-volt half-inch drill driver kit for only $99. Was $179. That's a savings of $80. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid from 3/20 to 7/20 while supplies last. U.S. only. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Discount taken at time of purchase.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
So your governor, your Democratic governor, he's mine too, the state of California, Governor Word Salad is what he sounded like this week when asked about his support of the cash piece of the recommendations put forth by the California Reparations Task Force, which of course came out of that law, that opportunity created by Secretary of State, then Assembly member Dr. Shirley Weber, right? The task force has been working. First, they listened to a lot of testimony. Then they put forth recommendations, voted on them. The final recommendation won't come out until the end of next month. But somebody asked the governor how he was feeling. Would he support those cash reparations? Because much has been made of how many dollars are going to be needed to cover that. And one of the recommendations of the task force was perhaps there would be a down payment and then payments over time to California black folks. And the way they have it divided up is, I think, quite interesting. You know, there's the housing discrimination piece. There's the incarceration discrimination piece. And all of these things have a formula for what each individual Californian would be paid based on how long they've been in the state. Well, here comes the word salad. Oh, reparations is about so much more than money. I'm paraphrasing. Basically, he's saying that, well, here it is. Dealing with the legacy is about much more than cash payments. Blah, blah. Many of the recommendations put forth by the task force are critical action items we've already been hard at work at. breaking down barriers to vote, bolstering resources to address hate, enacting sweeping law enforcement and justice reforms to build trust and safety. Yeah, those are things that purportedly you've been hard at work at, but yet we weren't able to pass ending enslavement inside the prisons last year. That didn't get through. So by working hard at, you mean you can't abolish slavery in California and you're not sure if we need a payment? It's part of a bigger concept, the concept of reparation. Next, he's going to be telling us it's about thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. That is not what we are looking for. And, you know, is this reparations theater, Gov? Is that what we're doing here? We're going to walk around trumpeting it inside the state where we know we need the black vote, where we know that it is very popular in the Golden State, this idea of reparations. You're going to trumpet it all the way along, saying you support the work of the task force. They're doing stellar work. But show me the money then, Gov. Show me the money. It's not, yeah, it's a concept, but it ain't just a concept. It's also, you know, hard cash. And when the IRS wants my taxes, I can't say, you know, being a citizen of the United States it's so much more than just paying taxes. It's really a concept of patriotism, love of country. You know what the IRS gonna say? B, better have my money. We have had this argument for decades, but way before there was a task force in California or the glimmer of hope in places like Evanston, right? San Francisco, cities like even Los Angeles that are convening reparations task force. We've had this argument because lots and lots of white people or people who consider themselves white, I should say, because I kind of don't believe in that concept, but people who designate themselves as white and lots of respectability black folks, you know, pandery black folks like to say, well, it's not about a check. We don't need a check. My least favorite argument is, if you give black people a check, they're going to waste it and squander it. They're going to be over there buying designer purses and Lambos. To which I say, so what? If you owe me money, you don't get to decide whether or not to pay me back based on what you think I am going to do with that money. That's not how it works. If I gave you $20, I need 20 back. I don't need you to say, Dominique, I'm not going to give you this 20 because you're just going to go get your nails done. Not like you can get your nails done for $20, but you get the idea. Like, you don't get to say, oh, well, Dominique, you're just going to waste it, you know, on clothing. You're going to be over there at Runway Boutique LA. You're going to be over there at Sweet Rags. Yes, I will. But guess what? It's none of your business. If it's my money. That argument I don't like. And the other argument is, well, you know, my ancestors didn't hold slaves, so why should I pay for reparations? I never owned a slave. Blah, blah, blah. But you, do you think? Probably you do. But we need to disabuse you of this idea that 12 generations of black people, 12 generations of us worked without pay in this country. That isn't the reason for the wealth gap, why white families are worth so much more in terms of net worth. I'm not talking spiritual worth or anything like that. Why that gap exists? Why that I think if I'm remembering correctly, the average nationwide white child is born with a net worth of $500, right? Average. So you're going from bottom of the barrel poor to the 1%. Whereas the average black person, baby, infant, has a negative net worth when born. That is all about 12 generations of free labor. You didn't have to enslave someone. Your ancestors did it, and you're still benefiting from it. So that's a dumb argument. Oh, well, I stole that money from you guys 100 years ago, so why should I have to give it back? Water under the bridge. guess who doesn't get to decide whether it's water under the bridge? You. I am so disappointed in the governor on this, because the main thing it says to me is that Governor Gavin Newsom wants to be president of the United States. He will happily throw black people under the bus to be president of the United States. That's what it says to me. It says, I'm willing to symbolically support reparations and call myself a progressive, but when it comes to putting my money where my mouth is, then that ain't gonna happen. Then out comes the word salad, the symbolism, the blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, it's been, 40, 50 years? I don't know, since we've been trying to pass H.R. 40 on the national level to even begin a study of reparation. But if you think about it, and this is why I used to say, those of you that were listening and hanging out with me when I did the show Front Page, or when I did the show Street Science, I always would say reparations maybe should be done by a Republican. Maybe Donald Trump should have done it, since he's supposed to be the great deal maker. But there's no reason why a Biden administration couldn't do it. You want to show and prove that you're grateful for our votes, which made your presidency possible. Authorize a study. He could do that by executive action. But what Gavin Newsom doesn't want, and I'm sure what Joe Biden doesn't want either, is to have to run for election for the president of the United States of America while taking attacks from right-wing conservative politicos who say, well, this person squandered billions to pay reparations. They're going to call him the woke this and the woke that. They get, that's when the folks that don't support justice, that's when they get into this mode about the zero-sum game. If we pay black folks reparations, then we will starve. There's not enough for everybody. By giving to them, you take away from us. But that's not how it works. We have so much money. The United States has so much money. We can cut the thumbtack budget of the U.S. military and probably pay for California reparations. We could cut the paperclip budget, right? But as you saw, if you watched any of that town hall last night on CNN, that exercise, a lot of people called it an infomercial with the former president and a bunch of right-wing folks basically having his way for a whole hour on CNN, where he got to get exposed to a mainstream audience. If you watched any of that, you know that everybody's already gearing up, positioning themselves for election season and running against wokeness, running against really de facto black people, because I can't remember who said it, but whoever did made a brilliant point that in some cases woke is a substitute. It was on Tavis's show, by the way. It's a substitute for black, right? Just like, we got all these code words and secret dog whistles, things that mean black, like public sector employees. When they start attacking that usually means black people. When they say welfare recipients, even though we're not the main people receiving it, it's code for black. And so woke kind of is becoming code for that. So the anti-blackness of these campaigns is going to be front and center. Now, Gavin Newsom, some people think he's good looking. He's tall, white guy. I don't think he's running in 2024. I do think he'll run in 2028. And he doesn't want to have the so-called baggage of having delivered justice for black people. What about that? And it is going to be a word salad, because there's no way that Newsom as a Democrat can win without our support. He'll be Biden without black people, which is Senator Biden or Vice President Biden. It ain't actually, he wouldn't have even been VP without Barack. So he probably wouldn't be VP For Biden, the keys to the White House are black folks. And the same will be true of Newsom, should he have the opportunity to be an actually viable candidate. Let me tell you something, Gov. I won't forgive you. If you turn your back on reparations, including the money, I won't forgive you. I don't think I'm alone in that. What do you think? 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Your thoughts on Governor Newsom and reparations or whatever else has got you up this morning. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580. We're unapologetically progressive.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Ree Harris, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Today marks the end of the federal COVID-19 public health emergency declaration. The CDC says after today, its authorization to collect certain types of public health data will expire. The declaration was authorized in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Bail is being denied for 4 teens charged in the deadly shooting of an African-American Chicago police officer. Prosecutors say the youngest suspect called a friend to brag about the officer's killing.
In that call, Defendant Frazier asked the friend if he had seen the news about the police officer being killed. Defendant Frazier said that it was his work.
Murder charges have been filed against 2 19-year-olds, an 18-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And that's the latest. I'm Ree Harris on the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
If you're a late-night snacker, listen up. Buffalo Wild Wings created a menu of late-night food and drinks starting at $4, 10 till close, full of tasty apps and ice-cold beer to wash it all down. Limited time at participating locations. Offers, days, and times may vary. Drink responsibly. Void where prohibited. Tax and fees extra.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers found out it's hard to eliminate a defending NBA champ. Golden State got inspired performances from Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, and Steph Curry to beat the Lakers by 15 in Game 5. Curry had a game-high 27 points. The Lakers still lead the series 3-2, but they've got a major concern heading into Game 6. Anthony Davis needed a wheelchair to get to the locker room after taking an elbow to the head from Kevon Looney early in the fourth quarter. Lakers coach Darvin Ham said AD is okay, but there's a chance AD might have to go through the NBA's concussion protocol before he's cleared to play. Game 6 is Friday night at Crypto.com. If AD has concussion symptoms, he will have to prove he's completely healthy 24 hours before game time on Friday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
The story of Emmett Till and his mother is a story of a family's promise and loss and a nation's reckoning with hate, violence, and abuse of power. It's a story that was seared into our memory and our conscience, the nation's conscience, when Mrs. Till insisted that an open casket for her murdered and maimed 14-year-old son. She said, "Let the people see what I've seen." The reason the world saw what she saw was because of another hero in this story, the black press. Jet Magazine, the Chicago Defender, and other black radio and newspapers were unflinching and brave in making sure America saw what she saw. Ida B. Wells once said, and I quote, "The way to right wrongs is to turn the light of truth upon the wrongs."
Turning the light of truth upon the wrongs. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here for KBLA Talk 1580. We're live in Los Angeles at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. And I'm speaking to some of the attendees today to see why it was so important for them to be here.
Yeah, this is Lathan and Tyler. Main reason that's very important for me to be here is just to leave a legacy for my kids. Black wealth, generational wealth is what we need in our community, you know. Oh, Chase, someone has to take the lead. They're showing, big business like Chase cares, and they're putting their money where their mouth is at. So it's good to see, big institution like Chase, giving a lifting hand, to the community. And, you got to respect that. It makes me want to bank with Chase and, give them, another look if I go to another institution. I actually see what Chase is doing for the community.
That's right. Chase is doing their part to help advance Black wealth. For more money support, tune in every day from 12 to 2 to KBLA Talk 1580's Midday Money Chain, right here.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Did you know addiction to drugs like meth or cocaine is a disease and not a choice? But getting help is. If you have stimulant use disorder, you, your family, and friends may have a lot of questions, including where to start. Choose Change California can help. Make a change today and find a proven treatment option for you at choosechangeca.org.
Gotta stay fresh, my house shot with a rest bar, shot with a rest bar, shot with a rest bar.
Have you visited us online for the grand opening of KBLA.store? For the best in new merch, gift ideas, books, media, and more, log on to KBLA.store. Be sure to check out our KBLA team favorites at KBLA.store today. That's KBLA.store for all the official merch on your favorite talk radio station, KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for waking up with us, with me, with Miles, with all of our KBLA crew. We got so many great shows on this radio station. If you haven't sampled them, wow, where to start? I love Ariva. If you haven't checked out In Real Time with Ariva Martin, it's 4 to 6 every weekday. And then, of course, Avi Bernard does Fridays. That's a great place to start your sampling. Of course, D.L. Hughley, a fan favorite. And then there's me. Don't forget about me. And Tavis Smiley comes on right after me at 9. Tell a friend. That is part of the kind of crowdsourcing that we could use around here. Black owned. We got your black. Hope you got ours. Tell a friend. Ask them to download the app. Let them know about KBLA and what we're doing. Call in. Speak out. Get involved. Be engaged. Like Big Phil from L.A. Good morning, Big Phil.
Good morning. Creek didn't rise this morning. Double busy. Pray up, keep waking up. And let me say one thing to you. Governor Newsom, by him being white, we men black, I haven't seen this man with a stroke of a pen gave close to $500 million all these organizations. When we come to get our money, it's a whole new ball game. He's just showing his true color, okay?
Wait, I didn't hear the first thing you said. He gave who $500 million?
No. Of the stroke of the pen, being the governor, I see him sign $100 million here, $50 million here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, come and get our money, okay? It's a whole new ball game for black folks. Here, a lot of these foreigners come over here. I'm not discriminating. Meaning they stay in Glendale. All of them got good jobs. Even people from Ukraine come over here. They don't go down to the border and carry it out in L.A. They get nice hotels. But when they come to us, we like the last token, okay?
Well, we know that in terms of the social hierarchy of the United States, black folks are on the bottom, which is one of the reasons for that is we work 12 generations without pay, which is why we're even talking about reparations, Governor Newsom. Yeah.
Absolutely. But he's showing his true color. That's it. Another guy, what's that guy, Soto? They arrested. I think he put his hand in the cookie jar a little bit too much. He just got caught this time, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? That lies caught up with him, okay? Okay?
You're talking about Sanchez.
Sanchez, yeah. The lies has finally caught up with him. He just put his hand a little bit much in the cookie jar, took too much money out, like a lot of politicians do. Not all of them, a lot of them do, okay? It's called the backdoor cookie jar.
Yeah, but this guy's beyond the cookie jar. I mean, he lied about his name. He lied about his occupation. He's told so many lies. Yeah.
I understand it, but when it comes down to it, he's stealing a lot of money, okay? No money, okay?
No doubt.
Bottom line.
I mean, and the thing is, Kevin McCarthy, again, with the little split the difference word salad situation, Big Phil, because he's saying he won't support Sanchez for re-election, but he's not going to ask him to resign because he needs the vote.
Yeah, it's all games. This is the reason why my mom, you met my mother at Barton years ago. She was a big-time court downtown St. Louis. I said, Mom, be a politician. Nope, there's just too much crooked game going on in the game. And you know what? Actually, she's right. She's right. You got some politicians good, and a lot of them, everybody's getting a check in the back door, okay? I'm going to go ahead and land. Happy Mother's Day to you. You've been a wonderful mother to your child. We need more mothers like you in the world.
Oh, thank
Dominique
you.
DiPrima, of course. So you take care. I love you and Miles and Tabitha. Please stay safe because there's so much killing going on. Guy hopped out and shooting folks in the alley down in Texas. Just shout, mind your own business. Here come the devil. Getting out and Nazis start killing people, you know.
He said, here comes the devil.
Pray up, waking up. I love you. Take care.
Love you more. I appreciate the call. Big Phil called at 800-920-1580, and you can too, 800-920-1580. Call me now. Guess who has a radio show? Not on KBLA, but has a radio show nonetheless. The former sheriff who was not reelected, in fact, pointedly not reelected by the people of Los Angeles, now has a radio show. It's, you know, if you were still under the illusion that this man is a Democrat, you can be relieved of that misperception. After losing to become a loser, he has, and don't get me wrong, not all people who don't win their elections are losers, but you see where I'm going with this. Anyway, he's up there MAGA-splaining all day long. He's, you know, it's really a talking point melange of our favorites, starting with it's the old guns don't kill people, people do. And using the time to bash District Attorney George Gascon and his anti-woke agenda. So it's kind of what you would expect. And if for anyone that, voted against him, even if you weren't voting for the other guy, voted against him, maybe you were voting for Luna, whatever, voted for change, you want to feel good about your vote, I would say go ahead and listen to 5 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes of this, and then you'll be like, yes, I made the right choice. That was a good call, me. You know, Councilmember Kevin DeLeon thinks that we've forgotten, but we haven't forgotten. We saw that, protesters went into City Hall on Cinco de Mayo and tried to shut down his little Cinco de Mayo presentation, and police arrested one of the protesters for battery on a police officer, which probably means he flicked him with his finger, and obstructing a public, or maybe brushed up against him, and obstructing a public business establishment. But that was just a small sample. We have a lot on our plates, right? Doesn't mean we've forgotten. And I think that he appears to be getting bolder and bolder in his defiance of anti-racist people, his defiance of black people, his defiance of progressives. It just goes to show you anybody can call themselves a progressive, right? Anybody can. So that's when you got to check the track record, check the secret tapes, check the voting record. Anybody can call themselves a progressive. Let's go to Ron from Richmond. Don't be gloating about no Warriors now. Don't be gloating because they can win one at home when it's do
see,
or die
here you go.
time, Ron.
Here you go. I wasn't even going there with the basketball. I'm looking at you on YouTube right now, looking all lovely.
Thank
Good morning.
you. Good morning.
Yeah, I love it. Man, technology off the chain. I can watch you on TV now. I couldn't do that back in the day.
That is so true. Thank you, Ron.
It's all love. Good morning, Dominique. How you been?
I'm blessed and highly favored, and go Lakers.
Y'all still got a chance to close it out, man. It ain't over yet.
No, it isn't.
This game gonna be quite interesting. It's gonna be a battle, man. So shout out to the boy AD. You know, I put a comment on my Facebook page yesterday. You know, I don't never like to see them star players get hurt like that. So
yeah,
I hope that brother's all right for real.
Yeah, I hope so too. They said he's all right. The question is if he can prove he's all right. And I'm glad they have the protocols in place to protect folks' heads, but don't make our series go down because of that. Like, if assuming he's okay, we need him there playing.
Yeah, it's all love. Just been a lot going on, man. I just happened to have my TV on in the middle of the night watching Mr. Orange. You be calling Mr. Orange doing that little interview.
Oh yeah. Well, so what'd you think?
Me out how to. I just be listening. It just tripped me out how he got an audience out there clapping for him and everything. He still think the election was rigged and all this stuff. But you got to cough up that money though for that case though, that bag.
Yeah, I kind of feel like no matter how rich you are, you just don't want to spend $5 million for something you did 30 years ago, or ever. I mean, but to your point, Ron, he really doubled down on all of his greatest hits talking points. The election was stolen. I don't know that woman. Putin is really smart. Hold that thought, Ron. Continuing the conversation, be like Ron. Call 800-920-1580. It is KBLA 1580 where we are amplifying black and progressive voices around the clock.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Accuser of Emmett Till dead at 88. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Carolyn Bryant Dunham, the woman responsible for Emmett Till's kidnapping and later killing, dies at 88 to a long battle with cancer. In 1955, 14-year-old Till walked into a store where Dunham worked. She accused Till of making improper advances at her, which has since been confirmed a lie. Till's murder was so brutal and unjust, his mother made it a point to tell his story. Thus, his death a catalyst for the civil rights movement.
Thanks to our new sponsor, Lendistry. Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Lendistry helps small business owners access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit Lendistry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
Calling all small business owners, entrepreneurs, and startups. Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation is your one-stop shop for the resources and tools you need to take your business to the next level. VSEDC is a community-based nonprofit and CDFI organization recognized for decades of technical and entrepreneurial assistance to South LA small businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs for 40 years. VSEDC provides training workshops and your very own business coach, and these services are all free. That's right, these services are free. Business coaches are standing by at their South LA Business Source Center or their Watts Business Source Center. Visit their website at vsedc.org or call them now at 323-752-2335. That's Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation at 323-753-2335.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, we are. I'm Dominique DiPrima. You're always welcome, invited, in fact, to call me at 800-920-1580 like Ron did. Ron was talking about the Trump town hall because apparently he had insomnia and he thought he would have a real-life nightmare instead of the kind you have when you're asleep by watching the former president do his greatest hits. It's crazy to me that he's leading in the polls right now, leading Biden in the polls right now. To me, that says it's not just his narrow base, right, that is supporting him. And that worries me because he's been held liable for sexually abusing a woman. And you know, that's okay with you? Well, I'm hoping that maybe if he gets more and more convictions, maybe that will erode his support somewhere.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my bad. I'm just sitting here listening. I thought I wasn't back on the air. Yeah, but I agree with everything you just said. Because shout out to the nephew. You know, at the other show, the nephew T. They was talking about because he was asking did he have more how you say it, allegations or stuff going against him besides this case.
Yeah. And there's so many of them. But Ron, do you think it was a mistake on the part of CNN? Like a lot of people were saying it was one long infomercial that Caitlin Collins, who I really like, I didn't realize she was only 31 years old, sitting up there solo, going up against this obnoxious misogynist that they set her up to fail because she was by herself going toe-to-toe with this bully who's a misogynist, hates women. Do you think it was fair? Well, it's election season. He deserves a platform just as much as the next guy, and that they're going to probably go through all of the candidates and give them a platform. The other piece of this is apparently this is Trump's slap in the face to Fox because he's been fighting with Fox News. And so by going on CNN, he's like, in your face, Fox.
Wow, yeah. It just amazes me how many people just follow this dude, man. Shout out to my mom, 82 years young. She can't stand Trump. As soon as he appeared on her TV, she put it on mute, cut it off.
Happy Mother's Day to your mama at 82. Tell her the KBLA delegation sends virtual flowers and a virtual big hug.
Oh, thank you, yeah, and happy Mother's Day to you. And I've got to send some prayers out to 3 of my nieces. This is going to be their first Mother's Day without their mom, who they lost this past September. That was my brother's, my oldest brother's wife.
Wow.
Oldest brother's wife, yeah. So I'm sending love out to them. Yeah, one of them is already a mom. She's a young mom in her early 20s, so she got a little boy. So I think I told you, yeah, she was a professional dancer for the Golden State Warriors for a minute. That's what she does, and she was a backup dancer for a minute for Chance the Rapper too. So shout out to him.
Yeah. Well, happy Mother's Day. So that's got to be tough. Yeah. I mean, for all the folks that are missing their mamas on this Mother's Day,
Oh, real quick, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Sorry. Yeah. Have you been checking out the Dear Mama documentary on FX?
I have not yet seen that. I really want to. I have not yet. Everyone keeps asking me too. Have you seen it?
Yes. I'm ready for the fifth. I guess they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about when he was out in Las Vegas, for the Mike Tyson fight and all that. And everything went down. And then, I don't want to spoil it for you, but yeah, it's good. It's rated TVMA. It's uncut, so they keep it. Yeah, but I never had a chance to meet Pop, but I felt like I knew him, because of Bay Area connections.
Yes.
Even though he's from the East Coast, and then I loved him on A Different World with Jada Pinkett back in the day too. That was cool.
I mean, he was from the East Coast, but in some ways it felt like he was from the Bay because he went to high school in Marin City, and he was a part of the Bay Area scene as a young person, and so were we. So he was probably an hour away or 15 minutes away from many a party that, or situation that you were in. You probably just missed meeting him,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout out to John Burris. He represented him. He just celebrated his birthday. The lawyer from the Bay. He represented Tupac when he caught that jaywalking case back in the day.
Yeah, his first real case, which was really a police brutality case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Ron, it's a pleasure to talk with you, and thank you for all your support of this radio station.
Yep, I thank you, Dominique, for putting up with me and taking my phone calls. I always got love for you. The Bay gonna hold you down. I appreciate you. Enjoy your Mother's Day weekend, doing what you do. Try to get some rest in there.
Yes, indeed. Well, look, it's not too late to call me. And also, next hour, we've got Joseph Williams of Students Deserve. We're going to chop it up. We got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCEF scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Welcome back to the quickest podcast ever, brought to you by Kohl's.
Today's topic, procrastination.
Leave it to me to last minute shop for Mother's Day.
It snuck up on me too. Luckily, Kohl's has gifts for under $50, like Sephora beauty favorites, comfy activewear, the latest tech.
Wow, not bad for the last minute.
Right? And I got an extra 15% off, a little something for myself too.
Yep, I'm convinced. Here I come, Kohl's.
Select styles. Sephora coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply. Offer ends May 14th. See store or kohls.com for details.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
And by everybody, we mean you, 800-920-1580. So, to be fair, the protester that was arrested at City Hall was arrested because the police claim that he slammed the door on one of them, but it was just a whole jumble of people pushing and shoving, and other witnesses say the guy just closed the door. And I do think that Kevin DeLeon is trying to start a race war in LA by trying to pit black people against Latina people. Luckily, the brown folks in our area are not that. Most of them are more sophisticated than that. Some are going along with it. But by him saying today's disruption of the Cinco de Mayo presentation was shameful and disrespectful, embarrassing the city in front of foreign dignitaries who've traveled from Mexico. Well, guess what? Your presence in the city council embarrasses us in front of every dignitary that comes there every day from now on, as long as you're there. Foreign dignitaries, state dignitaries, dignitaries from the hood, we got to go to city council and see you there. That's embarrassing. The protest is not embarrassing. That is trying to right an injustice. What's embarrassing is you, your racism, your anti-renterism, your anti-indigenousness. That is embarrassing. Even the self-hate. So why don't you go get some counseling and stop embarrassing us by showing up to city council meetings. That would be nice. Man, we probably talk more about this next hour. I'm interested to see what Joseph Williams has to say about the state oversight agency is saying that it's possibly time to shut down LA County juvenile halls because The conditions are so bad. We've been talking about this. The county got an extension to do some upgrades. They got their, yet another interim probation chief resigned. And now 2 young people overdosed and were saved by Narcan, and a third one died. And so it looks like it is entirely possible that the Oversight Board of Juvenile Halls will shut down the LA County Juvenile Halls by July. That's right around the corner. If the county can't prove that it's fixing that, I don't know how it's going to prove that if it hasn't proved it, with years and years and extensions and extensions. So what happens then? Where do those children go? And how will they be rehabilitated, which is what we're supposed to be doing, especially in juvenile halls? That's a big looming issue. And of course, Joseph Williams is with Students Deserve, specializing in young people. So I'm looking forward to getting his take and yours. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Ray Harris, and here's the latest from the